Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode with Babyface Bizzy. Yeah, I've been getting comments on it. I don't know why. I don't think this is a surprise, but yeah. Anyways, this episode that I'm bringing to you guys today is with a very skilled and creative individual. Today's guest goes by the name of JimWood, and he has had 2 maps get shipped to Counter-Strike, and he's also had one community map that's not gotten into Counter-Strike, but was very popular and remade for CS2. These maps, of course, I'm talking about are Mutiny, Ember, and Brewery. JimWood's story is pretty cool. He talks about how he started playing Minecraft and building maps on Minecraft. Hope you guys can't hear my dogs barking in the background. My apologies. Tells us about his transition into Counter-Strike. And then we go on to talk about how he got involved with making maps and his successes in the map creating community and, competing in map core tournaments. Hope you guys like today's episode. Stay tuned for next week is all I'm going to tell you. Big announcement. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we will catch you guys on the outro. Enjoy the episode.
Hiya, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right, dude. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Really sorry about that.
No, you're all good, man. No sweat, no sweat. I appreciate you taking the time, especially around the holidays. It's Christmas at the time, pretty much Christmas at the time of recording this, December 22nd. Um, so pretty much usually how I start off the podcast, I kind of like having the guests tell me a little bit about how they got introduced into CS and like how long they've been playing for.
Awesome. Yeah, so I honestly can't remember how I got introduced to CS. Like I first bought it. I first bought it. I think I played it once, didn't know anything about it. I don't remember. I have a feeling I know who got me into it. A guy I went to college with, I think. I have no idea. And then I think that was around Bravo, Operation Bravo. And then I actually got properly introduced to it by a mate called David, who that was Operation Phoenix. We started playing, and it was quite funny because yeah, I knew nothing about the game. I just opened it, and then we went to play our first game, and it used to like pop up when you joined the server about buying the Operation Pass.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he was just
yeah.
laughing. He was just laughing at me because like I literally bought it, and it was like he was like, "Why have you bought it?" And I was like, "I don't know. It just came up. I just clicked it."
I just saw the option. I took it.
Yeah, it was like my first like 30 minutes of playing. That's it's like, why have you bought the pass? You don't even know if you like the game yet.
I'm
But
sure Valve appreciated it.
definitely, I'm sure they needed the what was it $6 or six whatever it used to be back then.
Yeah, it's crazy how
But
much they
yeah,
cost. Well, I was about to say how much they cost now, like as if we have a fucking operation. Like we haven't had one in years now, but they've seen some increase in price for sure. $6, I'd do that any day of the week for an operation pass these days.
yeah, it's bad, isn't it? To be fair, I mean, even the game used to be. I mean, obviously in pounds, but I think it used to be like £12 sterling at full price, like 6 on discount. And obviously it's wild now because it's been free to play for so long. But yeah, they recoup the money in the operation passes, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like CS:GO was like the first like part of Counter Strike that you ever played. You never played Source or like 1.6 or anything.
No, not at all.
Damn.
I didn't play anything on PC till like 2012, 2013 or something. I didn't play anything at all on PC, like
Damn.
or not online games or anything. So it was probably like a year after I started playing stuff on PC.
Shit. Okay. Okay. So when you were like growing up and you were gaming and stuff like that, obviously we'll kind of dive into it soon, but you have like an artistic passion alongside your gaming passion. What games was it that really got you more interested in the artistic side of things, such as like level designing or like maybe modding or something like that?
Yeah, so for me, um, my memory is always quite hazy for long times ago, but I used to just like creating fun stuff, not necessarily artistic, good looking stuff, but more like experiences or like layouts for CS and stuff. So when I was younger, I think I can't remember what the first game was, but I think it might have been Minecraft. Like I used to there used to be like YouTube channels and stuff that did like skill maps, like with ladders and like movement and stuff.
Oh, like kind of
I
like
don't know if
Minecraft KZ.
yeah, there was old stuff back in the day. I don't know if it still goes, but you used to literally have like YouTubers playing like like with ladders and stuff and trying to like literally KV, trying to just do
Okay.
stuff with ladders and all that stuff. And I used to enjoy making stuff like that. And then just like random other stuff. Like I used to when I was like really young, just like doing stuff in Sims and stuff, and like just building stuff in that way. I think the first proper kind of level stuff I worked on in my own, like just for fun for myself. I remember when Halo Reach came out,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'd never owned a Halo,
That
but
was
they
your
had
first
the
Halo? Man,
yeah yeah yeah
crazy.
yeah. I know I never did. I never played it, but and I think it's the only one I've ever owned actually. I think, but they had I think it was Forge mode,
Yeah, Forge,
and
yup.
I bought it for Forge because I was like, oh, that looks awesome. So doing like like building like random maps for like driving on, and that was sick with cars to be fair. And then I did a bit of like stuff with Skyrim mods as well, and they were just like fucking free Skyrim, but just games I loved. So
Oh hell yeah.
did some messing around with them.
So when you were like playing, making like the Minecraft maps and kind of dabbling in modding and doing like Forge for Halo and stuff like that, and then you obviously ended up playing Counter-Strike later on, when was it that you kind of thought to yourself like, "Oh, I should start maybe I could start making Counter-Strike maps," you know? Like, did that come like super late into you playing Counter-Strike or was that like,
Oh no, it's really early. It was I'm guessing I'd say within the first few months. I
"Oh,
think
sheesh."
it was either 2014 or 15. I couldn't say which, but yeah, one of those years. I just started messing around with it, and it was just a case of you open it and you look at it, you think, Christ, this is don't know what's going on. There's too much to know, and then you just hack at it and tutorials and stuff. And there was like the most common ones from well, 3 clicks. Philip did some, but then the Top Hat Waffle as well. Did some. Well, he did loads actually. To be fair. Like, there's loads of resources out there. There's different tutorials for CS2 now, like the Eagle one. They're kind of the main ones now. But that's the best way to get into it is kind of watching those tutorial videos and joining communities on Discord, like Mapcore, Source Engine Discord, and a few more.
Because like when you look at like Halo Forge, for instance, like that's a pretty arcadey kind of like level designer, like map building kind of tool, you know. Well, I remember when I don't know what the hell I had no business doing this, but when I was 16, I think I was around 15, 16 when I started playing Counter Strike, and I somehow found myself in the creator, like the tools to make a map and stuff. And because I think it was because one of my buddies that I play Face It with on the weekends, he was trying to show me like a map that he made, and I was like, "Oh, show me how you did it." And he like kind of set me up, and I was like, "What the hell am I looking at?" Like that's such an advanced tool compared to like Forge Halo or something like that. So that's pretty cool. That just after a few months of playing, you're inspired that quickly. Like that's a big tall order.
Yeah, I think it's the game just kind of grasps me. To be fair, like not I don't know what the word is, but like it's hard to explain. Like when I was young, I was a COD console gamer, like for years and years and years, and just the everything about the game just enticed me. I guess I think even nowadays, like I don't play multiplayer games unless it's CS really.
Yeah. And that's the thing with CS. Like, I've talked to so many people so far on the podcast, and like, for some reason, and I think it's just because of the basics of the game, just a 5v5 shooter, no power ups and all this other abilities and different operators and stuff like that. Just the basics of Counter Strike. It's just so fun and it's so addicting. You queue up a game super quick, you die, the round restarts, everything's kind of quick in a way, and it's just for some reason it's just that one game that it once it grabs a hold of you, it does not let go.
100%. Like I think there's other games across the years like I've really enjoyed playing like for even like a couple of years like Overwatch, Apex Legends, but my interest in those does die down like after so long. Whereas with CS, it just never did. it's definitely unique in that way. And I think the lack of, I won't say lack of abilities and stuff, but just the simplicity of how it's designed, but also how complex it is in regards to like mastering it and stuff. It's a good combo.
Without a doubt, for sure. So when you started, dabbling in the workshop tools for Counter Strike and stuff, like how did must have been a pretty big learning curve to learn how to make a Counter Strike map and stuff. How did that kind of go for you at the beginning?
Oh, horrendously, because you don't know what you don't know what you're doing. Like you when you first start out and you struggle because you don't know how something should be done or whatever, and you kind of it's kind of the way everyone would do it is you create just kind of crappy maps at first, and that's just the way it is because you're designing something, you can get it to you can make it, but you don't know how something should be done. So stuff like optimization, like it just all that stuff. You don't know what you're doing at first, and even like the designing of layouts and stuff, and how it kind of take knowledge of the game from playing it,
Mm-hmm.
and then in my mind, the way I do it anyway, like I have that knowledge of how to play it from like thousands of hours, and then kind of take that over, and then use that while designing maps and stuff. And you don't really have that at the start, but you just got to make crappy maps at first.
Oh, without a
In
doubt.
my opinion, it's just how it is. Like you just get through them. You can't be stuck on a map and think that you can't spend years on your first map, in my opinion, because you need to go through the full process of everything, get through it all, and then start on something new and be like, I know where to start now.
Yeah, for sure. And like it's super important, I could imagine too, to like, with any, like you just said, you got to make the crappy maps and get them out of the way. It's much like anything you'll do in life, in a creative aspect anyway, where you're going to do something like maybe you're going to make a YouTube video or something, you want to be a YouTuber. The first videos you make will suck. Like it's not very common that you start making YouTube
Yeah,
videos, and I'm just using this as an example. You're not going to just start making YouTube videos and, get millions of views. And, you got to get the shitty videos out of the way and, take feedback from people. So, like, to put out a map or something, and maybe it does suck, to get the feedback from people like, oh, this spot right here could need some tweaking and stuff. Like, that's super important to know in the beginning stages of like learning how to be a mapper too.
for sure. And it's so hypocritical. It's so hypocritical for me to say that because I've wanted to get into skins for ages, and knowing full well I have to make a load of crap first. I
Mm-hmm.
just like, that just kills my momentum for
Yeah.
like,
But once you get the
and
rhythm
just
going,
knowing
it's
that.
probably better.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. But it's just funny I said that and then hypocritically just thinking, yeah, that's exactly how I go about with like thinking with skins and stuff. But yeah,
So I wanted to transition a little bit into some of your most popular and successful maps. So I wanted to start talking about I'd say it's your most well-known wingman map, Brewery, something that wasn't officially added to Counter-Strike but a pretty well-known community map anyway. When did you create this map, and where did you get the inspiration from for such a unique style of map? Like, there's nothing really that took off with this kind of theme and is so memorable. Like your map is really a staple in that regard, I feel.
no, appreciate that. Thank you.
For sure.
The map started. I think yeah, it definitely was the 2017 map core contest. So every well, there's actually one ongoing now, like a Face It map core contest. So it's sponsored by Face It, run by Mapcore, kind of a community mapping um, community for not just CS, but so yeah, they've had different contests, and the fourth one's ongoing right now. But the second one, at least for CS:GO, was in 2017. So this was made originally as a diffuse map for the 2017 map core contest. It didn't get finished by the end of it, um, and it kind of just got put on the back burner for a long time. And then I want to say 20, it probably was 2023. I was kind of speaking to Oliver again, so the artist on it. Um, we just decided to get it out. I think that was the point when Via came on, and he was there to kind of push it over the line. Because yeah, I think at least from my point of view, was very stagnant after 6 years of not really doing much on it. And we decided to turn it into Wingman, get it out, because it was actually kind of half-hearted back in 2017, and the bomb site, which was bomb site A, which is now the Wingman bomb site, that was kind of hearted back then in a different art path, so it looked very different to what it does now. But yeah, we kind of just converted it into Wingman from Diffuse, just get it out, get it done, because we wanted to get it out there, and obviously Diffuse maps take a long time, and people have other stuff they're working on, and this, that, the other. Um, so yeah, we got it out. But I think in regards to thought process behind it, I used to go to when I was at uni. Was it at uni? Was it before then? But yeah, I used to go out for meals like with my mum and stuff, and basically we just next to a brewery, and I used to see it a lot because there's a brewery there, and
Oh yeah,
it was,
right
I used to
on.
look at it and be like, it's a pretty cool, unique theme and stuff. So yeah, it just kind of kept popping in my head from that.
That's awesome. We had Centauri, the guy that made the Rapid Transit Scout, that's
Yeah.
in the new Armory Pass right now, and he was telling me a story similar. Like, I just love it. Like, he was out taking the train one day and he saw the map up on the top of the train or the bus. I forget which one he said. And that for some reason stuck in his head. And he went home and he made the rapid transit. You would go out for lunch, you'd be by the brewery, and you're like, huh, that's interesting. Now you made a brewery map. Like, I just think it's so cool. Like, you could just be out and about having your, just a normal day. And like Counter Strike is, you could take your inspiration and boom, put it into Counter Strike. Super freaking cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like I've spent time before, like trying to think about what map ideas and stuff, and I feel like personally I get nowhere doing that. You just kind of get it randomly on the go. You think, oh, I'm gonna write that down in my notes, kind of thing. I feel like the best ideas come from just out and about, definitely.
For sure, for sure. And you guys recently remade the map for CS2 and it turned out really cool too. Was there much of a change in using like the tools specifically for Source 2 engine compared to Source 1? I'm sure it was probably a little different with like lighting and stuff like that, and there's probably way more advanced features nowadays.
So the bare bones kind of you bring a lot of knowledge over from Source One, the mapping tools, and just the way the entities work and stuff. There's a lot of knowledge you can bring over, but you are essentially learning new software when you come from the old one to the new one. It's very, very different in so many regards. But yeah, like you said, lighting and stuff. That stuff's it's all different from how it used to be, but it can look very nice. I think Brewery's a Brewery's a great example because you never used to be able to really make nice looking metal back in CS:GO. So there's a couple of like big copper drums in CT spawn on Brewery, and it's funny when you look back now because they look so much better now than they used to, and not just the lighting, but mostly it's just because of the lighting that you can do in CS2 compared to CS:GO. It's just it's a nuts change. There's a lot to learn. I think you get over it, but yeah, it was quite a big change coming from Source One, that's for sure.
And I feel like it's kind of a no brainer question, but just me being curious, would you think it'd be harder to jump into, let's say you're clean slate, never done mapping before, never made a level or made a map or something like that? If you were to jump into Source Two's engine tools, do you think it'd be hard, or workshop tools rather? Would you think it'd be harder to learn Source Two's workshop tools or Source One's? I'm assuming it'd probably be Source Two, a little more advanced.
I would say Source Two, but Source One had so much like Source Two's harder, but Source One had so much jank. It was like y- you you, you your life was easier because you knew about the jank and you knew about getting around the jank.
Okay.
It was easier to learn, but you'd fall into problems so you didn't. You need you needed that knowledge of why stuff was janky or when it was janky and how to fix it. Um, yeah, there was and stuff like optimization though. It's in my opinion a lot nicer now. It was a lot more manual work in CS in CS:GO. than it is now. Um, you used to spend like days doing passes for optimization in CS:GO.
Oh,
It was quite heavy.
yeah.
It was a lot, but
And
it's yeah, both difficult.
and optimization goes without saying. It's a very, very important part of the map. You can have a beautiful map, but if it's not optimized, people aren't going to play it. So that's something you definitely would probably have to take your time, making sure that everything's good and checks out there.
100%. I think stuff like familiarity is the hardest thing. Like people don't know your map. They don't know where they're expecting people to play from. So they quite often you see it on new Valve maps as well. They'd be like, where have I been shot from, this, that, the other. A lot of it just because they don't know the map, but also it's hard when you don't have nostalgia as well for maps. Like people want old maps. It doesn't matter what the layout was like. They want
Yeah,
an old map because
yeah.
they know it, which brings in familiarity with it as well. But yeah, there's stuff like optimization as well. If people can't run it, they're gonna close it and they're not gonna open it again.
Yep, absolutely. And another thing I wanted to bring up too is in July of 2020, Mutiny was added to CS:GO, and that was a project that you worked on. I hope I'm not gonna butcher the names too hard. Don't kill me if I do. Uh, Tanuki Suit and Huvaligen, I think.
So I say Havaligen, but
Havaligen. Okay.
even I might get it wrong. How about
All right.
I'm gonna
Well.
have to ask him. He's
Okay.
never corrected me.
All right. Havaligen and Tanuki Suit. And you guys, you made this map set in a forgotten tropical island with a wrecked ship, which, again, I think it goes right alongside the brewery theme. Another very unique and creative theme, and something that I don't think you really see much of or at all, really, other than your guys' map. With your previous experiences with map making, was this something that was relatively easy to do given your history in map creating, or was this like kind of like the next step, I guess, if you want to call it that?
Yeah, it was like the next step for me because I'd never really I'd finished like maps, but not kind of maps that I would say to try and take seriously. I guess like I was still kind of learning before that point. With Mutiny, it was definitely kind of the first map that I was kind of hoping to get in game. It was insanely. It was a unique theme, but the unique theme bit was quite hard, especially for optimization, because the way it kind of worked in CS:GO would be you got tall buildings, you're probably going to have good FPS because the way it worked, but the way the theme kind of worked for Mutiny, it didn't really make sense to have tall buildings. Everything was like a short building, so it was a pain to try and get running well on people's machines. That's for sure. Uh, and it never ran amazingly in CS:GO, but it got in game, so yeah, it's whatever.
And like, do you have an inspiration from where that one? Like, I always just love hearing about the inspiration of a creation period, whether it's a skin or a map. Was that something that again just kind of, did you watch a movie maybe that like, oh hey, maybe I should make like a pirate theme kind of map with a pirate ship or something like that, or was this just like totally random?
It wasn't a eureka moment in that way. That was for the 2019 Map Core Basic Contest, and it was basically you had to follow the tropical theme. The theme was tropical or exotic places, I think they called it.
Okay.
So you had to go for something tropical or exotic. So we went for well at the time I'd just played. It was around that time. I just played the Uncharted games, so I'd not really played Uncharted at all, and then I kind of played them all at once. And there was a lot of kind of references we used from, I think it was Uncharted 4, where they have like they go to like a place that they don't know if it's real. I can't remember what it's called. There's quite a lot of references taken from that because it kind of fit the same vibe and feel of what we wanted to go for like a pirate map. But I also love the Pirates of the Caribbean films, so
Yeah, classics, classics. And I also saw that you guys came out with an updated version for CS2, and you guys changed. To me, you changed the whole feeling of the map with the reddish kind of sky, and I think it turned out amazing. What's your reaction to seeing the community showing the support to the not only the original map but the updated new version for CS2 as well?
it's awesome. Like I think from what I see, I see people wanting it back. Probably largely is down to the unique theme of it. But there's a lot of people that seem to like it and seem to well, potentially want it back from what I see. So yeah, we released an updated version in the hope that it'll get added. It's not been added obviously yet to CS2, but you never know with Valve. I know there's been maps before that got added years and years after they released, even like the first time. Like I think Grind was added like 4 years after its first release, I think. So
Yeah, they're
there's
mysterious.
always hope.
They're a mysterious bunch of people over at Valve HQ, man. They'll do the most unexpected shit, like the new AK Inspect. You know, it's like what? Where did that come from?
Yeah, and no one asked for it, but they decided they wanted to add it. So
So
it is
in
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and you know what? We're just gonna have to, keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, and hopefully we see it return to CS one day. I'm sure it will. Very unique map, and I think a lot of people loved it. In 2022, you teamed up with Tanuki Suit, and you guys created. Correct me if I'm wrong, but probably the biggest project you put out to date. Sorry, the map Ember for Danger Zone. Um, with these maps being much, much larger than your typical 5v5 map, what was the plan going into such a project like this? Because this is like, you just said that Mutiny was the next step from Brewery for you. I'm sure this was another next step, in the future of your map creating career.
Yeah, Ember was something. Creating maps for Danger Zone was a bit of a beast in itself. Like it's quite funny because you'd spend less time on like playtesting and tweaking like how a layout works like you would with a 5v5 because the minimal kind of angles matter so much in a 5v5 and timings and everything. But when you create a danger zone like Ember, danger zone map like Ember, it was they have to be a fixed size. We kind of we had a bit of quite a lot of water around it, but essentially it has to be a fixed size. In total from left to right, X and Y. But it was yeah, it's just a completely different ball game. Like you have to take into account all the limitations that you had in the Source One engine. So if you had too many things essentially in your map, it can just crash. And there's a whole host of stuff that could go wrong, and you would just basically jumping through hoops and trying to avoid things going wrong. Like we had a weird problem where one of our brushes or like floor pieces or whatever you want to call them in the map would just error. Like it would just tell us there was an error, and like we just couldn't find it. And
Oh man.
I even looked through the file like manually, it just didn't exist. But it was still error about this ID that just never existed, and it was just you were battling constantly. But we kind of planned it out in a way that we knew about the limitations, especially because there'd already been Danger Zone maps made. So we kind of held back on certain things, and like the way we did stuff, we kind of held back on because we knew we'd probably fall into problems if we tried to go all out
Hmm.
from the get go. So it went somewhat swimmingly. I would
Okay.
say for a Danger Zone map, I think it went pretty well, and we didn't have too many problems. Um, but yeah, it was a whole different beast, that's for sure.
And especially I'm sure with the optimization aspect too, like optimizing a regular 5v5 map or like a wingman map or something like that, obviously super important with any map, but again, if it's not really optimized, it doesn't really work and people aren't going to play it. And then you talk about a danger zone map and like the amount of entities that are on a danger zone map compared to any other kind of map. I mean, like, that's a lot. So like I'm sure that was probably a pretty big beast to tackle as well.
It was still quite a bit, but in my opinion, it was actually easier than optimizing for a 5v5, and the main reason is because on Danger Zone maps, it was kind of I'd say even expected that you would have a fog around the player, so they call it far Z. So after so many units in distance, like after so far from you, there was always fog on like every Danger Zone map,
Uh huh.
and that allowed it to the game would just cull anything outside of it. So it actually kind of made it not bad. And in the center of a danger zone map, you generally would always have a raised area, like the volcano kind of area on Ember, and similar for Valve maps and other community maps. They would always kind of have a tall center, and that's just because it just naturally blocks vision from one side of a map to another.
Oh, okay.
So it just allowed the game engine to naturally optimize for you itself, really, which was good.
Okay, bonus then. So something else I wanted to ask you about was, the CS scene is in many ways super duper competitive and other creators putting out maps all the time. And, obviously the biggest intention of every creator is to have their, whether it's a skin or a map in this case, everybody wants it featured in the game. So when you look at it, how does it feel to have accomplished getting your projects featured in the game, not once, but two different times, I guess, essentially, because Brewery was never official, correct?
Yeah, brewery's never been added. Hopefully next rotation. Hopefully.
But regardless, like you've still had two maps that you've had a part in creating get featured into the game. Like this is probably every creator's dream, and I could imagine you must have felt like you were on cloud nine hearing that your projects were getting added to the Counter Strike for people all around the world to play.
100%. Definitely like Cloud9 is the feeling. I know the first time we got added, so yeah, we placed the Mutiny play that map called Basic Contest. So um, they originally added the first and second maps, which was Anubis and Chlorine. So they added us first, and we were kind of just like, hopefully next rotation the ladders, and then we got the email, and yeah, that was a great feeling. I remember just kind of going to my wife and excitedly telling her, like a schoolboy, I guess. But no, it was a great feeling. I think the more maps you get added, like you kind of. I mean, I'm only two, but the second just doesn't feel the same as the first. The first time you get added, it's at least for me, it was like it was nuts. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, I guess after a while, even if it's only twice that it's happened so far, after it happens once, like the first time is like holy shit, and then if it continues to happen, you kind of I guess get a little desensitized to it, like you would with anything, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's still great. Like it's still a great feeling.
Hmm.
Hopefully I do get more. But yeah, the first was a different level of feeling for sure.
And your wife, like when you went to go tell your wife, like I don't know how involved she is and how much she knows about Counter Strike, like you and I would, but was this something that was like kind of difficult to kind of explain, or did she kind of understand completely?
Yeah, she's not one to play, but yeah, no, it's definitely kind of excited for me because she knows enough about the mapping side of it because it takes so long. Like she's seen me do it for hundreds and probably thousands of hours. Um, so yeah, obviously, as soon as I told her, she kind of knew and was obviously excited and happy for me, which is great. But she's not one for playing it. That's for sure.
Babe, come play the new map I just made. It just got added to Counter Strike.
She played against some bots a few times, like easy bots. I think she
Okay,
played she played on she played on Mutiny a few times, but yeah, she wouldn't play
beauty.
online.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't get her online, that's for sure. No chance.
Dude, as soon as a girl enters a server, it's a coin flip of, is it going to be chaos or not? So maybe it's for the better.
Oh, she probably would have got kicked immediately for talking, so you know, that's how it goes, isn't it?
Much like skin and sticker creators, mappers also get financial compensation for their efforts upon, getting their project shipped into the game. And I'm not here to talk numbers or anything. That's not my business. I just want to know, like, for context for any aspiring mappers or creators of any sort that are maybe, looking to get their submissions shipped to Counter Strike one day that are maybe are watching this. Could you kind of loosely describe a little bit about how the impact of these opportunities from Valve kind of had on you in your life? Like, did this change your life in any way at all?
Um, I would say if you're looking to do this for money, then I'd go do sticker skin creation. Like it's a completely different ball game. It's not. It wasn't life changing for me. It was nice. Like for me, it's more the. I mean, the money was nice, but it was the pride of like getting it in and the feeling of people playing.
Hmm.
on your map officially. Like it's definitely the feeling for me. And if you don't strive for that, and if you kind of just think, oh, it's not even a quick book. Like if you're trying to make money out of it, you make money, but there's a risk factor. But also it's just not that much. Like I can't say money, but yeah, the pay for like TF2 is a better money as for CS even now. So
Oh,
like
really?
I had a map added to TF2 a year and a half ago
Oh,
with
no way.
Tanuki again. Yeah, and that is yeah by far the most um, beneficial structure for paying for maps. So yeah, if you you want to earn money from it, go map for TF2.
Damn, I had no idea that you like. I was doing a lot of research about you and stuff. I had no idea that you got a Team Fortress 2 map out of. That's crazy.
I got a load of hate as well because I had like 10 hours in the game.
Oh,
there,
people were
there was
hating on you.
yeah, there was load. Like you always get hate like for CS:GO maps. Like people lose on your map. It's like oh people I don't know find it in the brain that it makes sense that they're going to hate on you because you create a
Yeah.
map. But TF2 was a whole different level. There's like massive Reddit posts about how I've got 10 hours and stuff. It was quite funny.
Oh, what people even made Reddit posts and like try to blow you out of the water with it?
A bit, yeah. The map got loads of hate. People weren't too keen on it, but I wasn't too fussed. Like I wanted to branch out, make something for something else. I thought it was quite fun to kind of map around abilities for a change. Uh, and I enjoyed it, but yeah, it got so much hate. But I don't know, I find it funny. It's all good.
That's so bizarre to me. Like, if you look at a lot of people that make maps or a level for a game or something like that, if they're working for a company, like a lot of these people have worked on so many games, like, they don't really have the time to be between their normal life of just, living day to day when they're not working or when they are working, like, and their time is being taken up. Like, who's to say these people are playing hours and hours and hours and hours of the games that they're creating maps for? Like, that's just a weird angle. That's weird to hate on that.
You get it's beneficial because you have more game knowledge from it, but
Sure.
I wouldn't say it's 100%. You must have played 1,000 hours in this game before you can create a map for it. Like, yeah, it's just weird gatekeeping. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just find that stuff funny. Like, I think certain people might take it to heart, but it's just funny. It's just like you just laugh at them, really. Why do you care so much? Like, just don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Just play another map. Like, I don't, if you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah, that's it really. I mean, like at the end of the day, to me anyway, I'm not sure if you feel the same way about it, but when people are shitting on me, like I feel accomplished. Like, yeah, I'm fucking doing something right. So hopefully you felt the same way. If people are making Reddit posts, like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
like what the
Yeah.
fuck are we doing here?
Oh man, there was just loads. It's just funny. But even with CS maps, like you got a community, you've got a community map for a CS. For CS, half that team, sorry, half the game, one team, they're all gonna lose. The likelihood is they're just gonna be like, don't like that map. Like played it once, don't like it. And it's just kind of a mental, I don't know, psychology stuff. But yeah, it's just a process that people kind of think I lost, don't like it, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and that's just how they feel about it. But it's tough for community mappers, I swear.
Yeah, and with the Counter-Strike community, a lot of people like to be vocal, so that's the one part that comes with making anything for Counter-Strike.
Definitely.
So what do you have planned for future projects, if anything? Do you have some things that you're kind of working on right now, or are you kind of giving yourself like a break after such a successful run?
Yes, I'm working on working on a map called Elevation for the new contest that's going on for Mapcore and Face It. It's going okay, but yeah, it's time stuff. Yeah, I got a family.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to find the time now, but yeah, it's going pretty well though. It's in the second stage, so hopefully we make it through to the next stage and so on. Other than that, just I end up doing like bits and bobs, like working on well, we're about to release a new version of like a radar generator tool that I originally released. Um, a bit ago, but I still can't remember how you say his name. Is it Angel? It's not Angel. Angel. You've had him on here at some point.
Yeah, yeah,
He,
yeah.
he's been helping on it. So well, he's done most of the work for the update, to be fair. So yeah, we're about to release that, and it basically just it's a radar tool for like auto generating radars. Like there can be a pain to make when if you're creating a map, you keep making revisions to the layout, and you keep having to make a new radar and stuff. It was always a pain, and Valve, I don't think have their own tool. Never released one for us anyway. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're about to release a pretty big update for that. So just kind of working on different things. Usually it's around CS, but also released a game a few months ago with a few others, like people who used to map for CS:GO. Um, and we released it for free though, just like we wanted to release something, get some people playing it, and it's just there's quite a few people that speedrun it now, quite a lot, which is awesome to see because
Yeah, yeah.
they've kind of taken to the game quite a lot, which is it's just great. It's just good to see. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
It's
worries,
good.
man. Do you have any
Oh,
advice? Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, I forgot I was actually working on some contract stuff for Face It at the minute as well.
Oh,
So
no
there's
shit.
yeah, we've released kind of like a dynamic 2v2 map. So yeah, I think there's probably going to be some more. So yeah, just kind of working on stuff like that as well. It's just pretty neat working for for stuff like the maps. Literally, it's just like officially on the site and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like Face, it's huge. It's been around forever. That's got to be a pretty, big achievement.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Thank you. It's enjoy playing on it as well, but seeing just hearing how many players have played on it as well, it's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Congrats, dude. So, do you have any like advice maybe that you could give any aspiring map creators that are looking to achieve what you've been able to achieve in your mapping career this far?
Um, just keep at it, I guess. Like the hardest thing for a lot of people is they'll try and get into mapping, or they may have done it for a little bit, but then playtest the layout with a bunch of other people, usually mappers, whatever, usually like a community and stuff. And I think the hardest thing for a lot of people is getting over the constructive criticism or just criticism in general. You see a lot of people like they'll produce something, get it tested. People kind of go, nah, this, that, the other, bit shit. So people can take that to heart, and if you're taking that to heart, you're never going to finish something because, it, yeah, people can take it. You kind of just have to accept the feedback. It might not be what you want to hear, this, that, the other, but you need to take the feedback you're given, and then you yourself kind of go over it all, think about, yeah, I agree with that, and yeah, I'm not so sure about that. You can't implement every piece of feedback you're ever going to get, or you'll never finish a map
Yeah.
because there will be always feedback to give. Like you see Valve tweaking maps now. They added the jump up to near city spawn to short or cat on Dust 2
Does too. Yeah. Yep.
recently. It wasn't that long ago. And then they added
Overpass is
the
getting
bench.
like crazy overhaul right now. A lot of new changes on there.
Yeah, miles. Yeah, loads of changes. Even stuff like the bench in Mirage Mid that got added a few years ago that
Yeah.
to easily self boost into the window. Like it's a massive change for how it plays for just adding a bench.
Yeah.
But
Big time.
there's always going to be changes you could make, and you might want to make some. But at the end of the day, you gotta you gotta think about all the feedback you get, drum over it, and decide what you want to do. You can't do it all.
Yeah.
You'll never
And
finish it.
like another thing too is, and I'm sure it's really frustrating, being a person that creates maps, like, you see it constantly. Even Dusty, we were just talking about when they added the boxes, the self boost up the catwalk from CT. Even up myself too. Like, I didn't go on Twitter and start blowing it up and whatever, like, oh my God, game breaking. But that's what everyone wants to do. They want to take a screenshot, post it to Twitter, Reddit, whatever. Oh my God, this is what Valve just did. Broken game, broken map, take it out the pool. And like people just overreact and just like blow it so out of proportion. It's like, give it a chance, test it, give it a week, play it a little bit, and you're going to realize it's not really as bad as you thought. It just looks crazy because we haven't had that before.
100%. Like people can just be too quick to kind of jump to conclusions, and that includes me. I think every player, like, you can easily jump to a conclusion about don't like this, like this. Well, it's easy to hate on something that you don't know.
Hmm.
You kind of just gotta, get used to it. You see people like when Valve did certain changes to their maps, there'd be people hating on it before they've even tried it out. Like, just give it a chance,
Yeah. The
definitely.
w- the one thing I think is acceptable of hating before even jumping in the game and seeing it yourself is that ugly ass AK inspect we were talking about earlier. That is atrocious.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. I saw the patch notes and saw a video. Oh, like even before I saw the video, I was just like, I can't believe they've changed that.
Like, why?
It
Why?
just come. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, man, I want to thank you again for your time. I know it's super duper late for you, and it is we're pretty much at the holiday time right now. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and do the podcast. Much appreciated. Um, for the last part of my show, I like to have my guests kind of run the outro by sharing anything they'd like, whether it be something maybe we haven't covered, if there's any shout outs you want to give to people, or a message for the listeners, or whatever you want to talk about for the end of the episode. Feel free to do so, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd just say thank you for having me on, and yeah, thank you to everyone who's played my maps. Um, I would say you should play community maps. Valve themselves have said previously, the players vote with their time. Like, if you like a map, or generally people like a map, it's going to stay in if people play it. You see Anubis where that's at now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's nuts that it's got there because nobody ever thought that they would add after cash a community made map to an active duty rotation. Nobody thought that. No one I've spoke to anyway. Like they've said before that you play with your time, so you vote with your time. Um, and the people are saying about Danger Zone, bad about Danger Zone. Nobody played it on the whole. There was like 1% or something. If you want, if you like that game mode, you play it. Like it is what it is. And I'll leave you with a random piece of information about CS. So I really like Beartooth, the band, and I didn't know about them till I heard the music kits in CS. And it bothers me that you have two music kits in CS, and they have they had an album release after those two music kits called Riptide, and there was an Operation Riptide, and there's no Riptide music kit. We literally had Operation Riptide, and yeah, yeah, a random piece of info.
That I actually didn't know that. Actually kind of just blew my mind. That's crazy.
I swear to God, they released around. I don't know the times. They released around a similar time,
That would have been
and I was just
a
like,
easy
believe it.
crossover. Come on, Valve,
I
what the
know,
hell?
unbelievable. It's unacceptable, really.
Well, thank you again, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for me.
And there you guys have it. That was the JimWood episode 3 of the year, episode 37 overall. Cannot believe that we're at 37 published episodes. It's absolutely mind blowing to me. And yeah, I can't wait to continue this. And I don't know, I don't have any amount of episodes planned. I just have the plan of doing this for as long as possible and talking to as many people as possible, bringing people that we've talked to before back on the podcast if they have something else going on. I don't know what my dogs are doing, guys. I apologize. But this is like something I really want to do for a long time. I truly enjoy it, and apparently you guys enjoy it too, so why would I stop? But that's it for today's episode. JimWood's links are down below, as well as mine. Feel free to go check them all out and show not only myself some love, but our lovely guest JimWood. Show him some love, innit? Much love, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday. Enjoy yourself on the weekend. Hopefully you guys don't work. And you guys have a good one. Take care, and we will catch you on the next one. Till next time, y'all.